I'm Fran Stovald. I'm the event coordinator for the Army Museum's Ogilvy Trust. I work on the Regional Networks programme, and I also sort out the training programme for the Army Museum's Into the Future project. So the Army Museum's Ogilvy Trust has been fortunate enough to have funding from Arts Council England to run the project Army Museums Into the Future, and this has allowed AMOT to build on a lot of the activity that was already happening across the sector, both working with the National Army Museum and other partners, but to also build in extra support for the Army sector. So through the Arts Council funding, we were able to add in extra levels of key funding for key projects, and we were lucky enough that 6 of the networks took us up on this offer. So we've had a whole range of projects happening right the way across England, and these have been started from the needs of the networks. So we weren't prescriptive, the networks decided what they had a need for, and that's been one of the beauties of the Arts Council funding, as we've been able to be flexible and respond to the needs of the sector. It's been a key part of the Army Museums Into the Future project that we share information not only from museum to museum, across the networks, across the different organisations that work with the Army sector, from AMOT to the National Army Museum, the National Archives and beyond. There are lots of museums doing very similar projects, and there's a lot that they can learn from each other, and nobody needs to reinvent the wheel. So we've been able to hopefully encourage dialogue that was starting to happen, but we've been able to support it and develop it so that it's become a bit richer and more sustainable for the projects that are involved. As part of the Army Museums Into the Future project, we've been able to run a series of training sessions, which again have come out of the needs from the sector. We were able to work with subject specialists such as the Money and Medals Network to look at the care and display of medals, and then also with an access and heritage consultant looking at how to make your collections more relevant for your audiences, looking at breaking down barriers for different audience groups. We're looking at developing this training programme so it becomes part of the AMOT business as usual. So the Army Museums Into the Future project has really been a catalyst to develop future work for AMOT, and hopefully again it will just continue to respond to the needs of the museums and fill gaps that are complementary to the training programmes that are already available from the National Army Museums and the museum development programmes. The final thing from the Army Museums Into the Future project that we've been able to help support the networks with, alongside our colleagues at the National Army Museum, is to bring together the network leads so that we can talk about the development of the networks and the work that they're doing on a more strategic level. This is now going to become a biennial event, and we've already had our inaugural meeting, and it's been very productive so far. And there's been a lot of interest and support in that. So it's looking at new ways of working and developing the way that the networks work, not only with us as an organisation, but networks and across their own museums.